Hi, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Let's Chat with Tonya Lightbourne. Today, my guest is Shanice Johnson, and we're chatting about women in business. Let's Chat starts now. And we're back. It is my pleasure to welcome Shanice Johnson. She is a super mom to Jayla. She is an entrepreneur. She is a master degree entrepreneur who has taken the leap, who started with zero customers, zero followers, and now I feel like we're so proud of you. You're building a legacy for you and your family. And I mean, if this can be done and this can be achieved for a person, I feel like it would be you. So welcome to Let's Chat with Tonya Lightbourne. It's so great to have you.
Thank you so much, Tonya, and it's great to be here.
So we are streaming live, and the good thing I like about technology is that I am in the Bahamas and you are in New York somewhere in New York. Like, where in
Yeah.
the world is Shanice? So it's amazing how we're all so connected. We're one phone call away, one video call away, one interview away. I mean, I feel like we were trying to get to this point for a minute and now we're here.
Yes, thankfully, finally, we are here.
So I want to start by saying congratulations because you recently opened not one, but two storefronts. And anyone who's kind of followed your journey has seen that Cutely Covered started as an online business.
Mm-hmm.
And now you've graduated to having an a storefront, a presence, so
Yeah.
that your customers can come in and experience or have the Cutely Covered experience.
Yeah.
And again, our topic for today is women in business. So tell us a little bit about your story. Tell us a little bit about you. Yeah, just lay it all out.
Yes. I started my business 4 years ago. So I left my job about 5 years ago. I worked back home in Nassau at an oil trading company, and I was there for several years. And my husband he wanted to further his education. And he wanted us as a family to be together, and we had a young baby, and so I took one for the team, and I resigned. I resigned from my job, and I moved abroad to and I couldn't wait to do it. I was like, oh my gosh, you know how it is when you're on your 9 to 5. You be
Exactly. I'm
like counting down
excited.
the
Let's
days.
go.
Yes, oh my gosh, with the calendar out, like, okay, I gotta give them 4 weeks notice. So when do I send this letter in? Then when you
Right?
send the letter in, you count down the days, like, okay, I have how many more days until I am stay at home full time. It sounds so good.
Yeah.
I get to be a stay-at-home wife. I get to be a stay-at-home mom, and I was just eager. I was excited,
Hmm.
and we relocated and we joined him. Me and our baby, and
Yeah.
it was a huge adjustment because
I
I'm the
can
type of
imagine.
person. Yeah, I always like to be busy. I always like to be doing something, and
Hmm.
people that know me know that since I was a child, like even in high school, I was working. I was going to school and I was working. Like I was doing hair. Like all my aunts and her friends and everyone. Like I had
Wow.
appointments booked for the weekends or after school. Like I was
Wow.
always hustling. So I having that adjustment, it sounded
Hmm.
good. Like I couldn't wait. I was eager for it. And then when I got into it, I was like, gosh, I'm waking
Wait.
up in the morning. Wait, hold on. I don't have a job to go to. Like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
So I'm like, being domestic and making breakfast and dinner
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
making sure the child is okay. And then I'm like, okay, but what am I doing
Okay.
for
What
myself?
now? Yeah.
Like, geez, I've never been like the type of person to watch TV
Yeah.
all day or to even be on social media all day. So it was like, okay, I need to do something. So I had
Mm-hmm.
started my master's. Prior to, I had started part-time.
Okay.
And so, once we relocated and everything, I was like, okay, I'm just going to go full-time and finish my master's.
Yeah.
So I did that. And then when I was done with that, I was like, boy, I need to do something else. Like,
Yeah.
what am
Yeah.
I doing with myself? Like, it's great to, be a mom and be a
Mm-hmm.
wife, but
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like I wasn't working on myself,
Right. Right.
because I feel like, sometimes we like, that's a great purpose for us.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Mm-hmm.
feel like sometimes we can lose ourselves. And I didn't
Agreed.
want to lose sight on my own aspirations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So, once I was done with my master's, I said, okay, I've always been, a fashion girl, like from
Mm-hmm.
way back when.
Yeah.
Like when I was in high school, I was saving up my little money from twisting hair and my lunch money and stuff, because if there was somewhere to be, honey, I was going to the boutiques back home and I was finding me something to wear and spending up my little bit of money, because
Exactly.
say I was looking raggedy.
Oh no. Oh no. What you're not gonna do is say I was bought down.
Exactly. That's one thing you're not going to do, is say I've been somewhere and I look raggy. So
Right.
from that time, I've always been a boutique shopper, and it's
Yeah.
just something that I've always loved to do. I always, like, anyone in my family can tell you, like, I love to shop.
Yeah.
Like, clothes and dressing up, that's just always been my thing. Even
Yeah.
when I was on my 9 to 5, like, I worked in a very relaxed office, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of expats, people were really casual coming to the office, but not me. Like, I am
Mm-mm.
coming in dressed to the T. Okay. I'm coming in
Mm-hmm.
with heels. Like, okay, if y'all want to do y'all flats, y'all can do y'all flats, but
That's okay.
I'm dressed. That's okay. But I'm dressing like, I got somewhere to be, or, so that's
It's a
just always,
party.
that's
It's
just a part
it's
of
it's a
me, So
celebration. Yeah.
exactly. So that's just who
Mm-hmm.
I am. If the dress code is casual, I'm coming like I'm going to the Met Gala. That's just me. That's just how I am. So I've just always been that way. Always
Yeah.
loved fashion and dressing up and
Mm-hmm.
beauty. And so I was like, you know what, I always, wanted to, start my own business,
Mm-hmm.
helping. I just feel like, it's just, we're just so empowered, and we feel so good when we feel good, how we look and how we
Agreed.
dress. So I decided to, launch Cutely Covered.
Mm-hmm.
And I started with, I mean, and those who know me know that I'm on social media, but I'm not on social media. So I
Right.
don't have like a ton of following or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Which is fine.
which is fine. And as
Yeah.
a matter of fact, I think that my my Instagram is even still private. Like, I'm just like not,
Yeah.
a big social media person, but
Yeah.
I started from zero. So, some people
Mm-hmm.
are like, oh, well, if you start with a lot of following, no. I
Yeah.
started at zero. I remember
Yeah.
celebrating with my husband, like when we hit 100 followers. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
celebrated that. I was like so excited.
Yeah.
So I started at ground zero, no
Mm-hmm.
customers, no like celebrity influence,
Yeah.
no nothing. Just
Yeah.
started from the ground up,
Mm-hmm.
research, hard work,
Mm-hmm.
just really putting out a plan. Like,
Yeah.
okay, this is how, I'm gonna do this,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just how we started. I just at,
Yeah.
me going from, okay, I'm done with my master's, I want to try this out, I've always wanted to do it. Now is
Yeah.
the time, that I have the
Mm-hmm.
downtime, I'm not working at the moment. And so that's how we got here.
Wow, but that's an amazing story, and that's one of the reasons why I started this sort of community, because of course we were in a pandemic, we were in lockdown, and I said, if I'm feeling this way, there are other women feeling this way, and I'm sure they want to talk. Like,
Mhm.
let's just talk, because sometimes you just need someone to listen. You don't necessarily
Mhm.
need advice, but
Exactly.
then added to that, I thought, well, I've seen Shanice online.
Mhm.
She looks like she's doing it. She's a mom. She's an entrepreneur. I'd
Mhm.
like to know how she built her business, or I'd like to know how she mothers Jayla,
Mhm.
because there's something that I saw that she did that I liked. And so instead of just seeing someone from a distance and either admiring them or just kind of wondering, it's like, okay, well, maybe let me just talk to these women and kind of share their story, because there's power in a story, right?
Of
And so I thought to do that. One thing that stood out, when you while you were talking, I thought, you can never be overeducated or overdressed. Like,
exactly.
never,
Never,
never ever.
never, never.
um yeah, but thank you for sharing your story. It's so empowering, and it's amazing that, okay, so you liked doing hair when you were probably in your teens or closer to
Yeah.
your 20s, and
Mm-hmm.
you always liked dressing up. And
Mm-hmm.
so further to that, like, it's like a full circle moment, because now you started your own clothing online boutique, and now you have a storefront to even further solidify that experience.
Yes. Yes.
I must interject that Shanice and I met when I worked in retail,
Yes.
and
Yes.
she came in for her wedding gown. And there was something about Shanice. Her personality is very magnetic. So I imagine that when someone comes into the cutely covered boutique,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna automatically get that. And just because of that, I feel like everybody in your team will probably emulate the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like your storefronts are gonna do well, just on the premise that your personality is there and it's infectious, and your team will probably end up doing the same and offering the same experience. So
Yes.
super happy for you,
You.
super happy
Thank
for
you.
you.
So excited. We really
Hmm.
are. I would have never thought that, just in a matter of 4 years,
Yeah.
we would be. This started just as something that I loved doing and I wanted to, try out.
Hmm.
And, it wasn't easy. It was really hard. And a lot of days I wanted to give up.
Wow.
But I would have never imagined, 4 years later, that we would be a multi-million-dollar company with 2 stores,
Yeah.
in prime locations in New
Hmm.
York. I just would
Yeah.
have never thought it was possible, but thank God.
Yeah. And small detail is
Mhm.
that you're obviously a Bahamian living in the US. And
Yes.
so I know we talked about a lot of things prior to our session, but I
Mhm.
almost feel like the idea or the notion of a Bahamian moving for whatever reason, in your case, you decided to join your husband, or that you guys decided to just relocate for education purposes.
Mhm.
But the fact that a Bahamian is going to start a business in the US, I feel like that's so intimidating.
Mhm.
And so for women watching this live session or for the replay, can you
Mhm.
give us like a little bit of insight, or maybe the steps you may have taken to kind of get into that space? Because you're essentially a foreigner, right? And you're coming in, and it's
Mhm.
almost like, okay, where do I start? What do I do? Yeah.
Yes. Well, I would definitely say, research. I read like day and night. I searched up and down, read tons of books on,
Yeah.
business structure and,
Hmm.
how to set a business up properly.
Yeah.
I, had to invest in, lawyers,
Hmm.
accountants, because your business structure is basically your foundation.
Right.
Whether you succeed or not,
Hmm.
that is important,
Yeah.
especially if you succeed, because, then you opened yourself to, you know, people who want to sue just for nothing,
Yeah.
and threat, so you always want to make sure that your business is in order and
And
that
covered.
and covered. Yes. Very important. You want to make
Yeah.
sure that your business is, structured properly, it's covered. And so I would
Hmm.
definitely say to invest in counsel,
Yeah.
invest in, a CPA,
Okay.
invest in a lawyer who can
Hmm.
properly guide you in in setting up your business properly.
Yeah.
To make sure that, because how we do things back home is different.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a lot different than, how you do things, in other countries. So each
Hmm.
country, is different. So I would definitely recommend that would
Yeah.
be probably some of the best money spent, um,
Yeah. Yeah.
would be that.
Yeah. Wow.
Mhm.
Again, like, just the whole process is intimidating. Like, starting a business, I feel, is a mountain that you have to climb in itself. Then there's the journey, because like you said, some days you felt like giving up.
Mm-hmm.
And then coupled with that, you're a mom.
Yeah.
So there's something called mom guilt that we all encounter.
Yes.
So let's stick a pin right there, because
Yeah.
we haven't talked about the most important person,
Mm-hmm.
which is Jayla.
Yes.
How has it been? Jayla is she 5?
Just turned 6
She
last
just turned
week.
6.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I remember when you had her.
I
How
know.
has it been transitioning from, so you became a wife,
Mm-hmm.
and then you had Jayla,
Mm-hmm.
and then you guys moved,
Mm-hmm.
and then you pursued continued the pursuit of your master's degree,
Yes.
and then you decided you wanted to start Cutely Covered.
Yes.
How has it been transitioning in all those seasons and being a mom?
Oh my goodness. It has definitely been life changing. Okay. Because,
Mm-hmm.
first getting married,
Yeah,
that's an adjustment on its own.
correct.
Because now you're living with someone, so you have to
Mm-hmm.
adjust. And then even for me, like I was the only child in the house
Ah,
until I was 16. So I
yeah.
was used to always living by myself and having my space. And then,
Mm-hmm.
when you get married, you're now with someone, so you have,
Uh, yes.
so that's hump you have to get over.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new experience for everyone. So dating
Yeah.
is something different because we've known each other for a long time, dating and then getting married. But when you live with someone, that's a
Mm-hmm.
whole new adjusting.
Absolutely.
Yes. And then after being married for a few months,
Mm-hmm.
then we ended up pregnant with Jayla. So I think maybe about 6, 7, 8 months after we got married is when I
Yeah.
got pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And then, learning your body, and I had
Appreciating your
rough,
body.
yeah, and I had a rough pregnancy, so I was on bed rest since I was at 6 months pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I didn't have I had a really scary pregnancy. I had to have an emergency C-section. So
Oh,
that
wow.
in itself was like kind of like, oh my goodness, but
Yeah.
you always say when you're pregnant, you have 1 foot on the
One foot in the
grave,
grave
1 foot.
and 1 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So going through that, and then
Mm-hmm.
adjusting through to motherhood, because I think that being a parent or a first time parent, it's different, when you're a dad and when you're a mom.
Right.
So when you're a mom, I think it's more, well, you're basically responsible for every single thing. You got to
Everything.
breastfeed, this, that, so
Mm-hmm.
adjusting to being a mother and
Mm-hmm.
loving your child, bonding with your child,
Yeah.
and learning, because
Mm-hmm.
no one really prepared us for this.
No, they never do.
They never do. So it's like,
Never.
okay, you're like thrown into this, and like,
Yeah. Like
like,
sink or swim.
yeah,
Yeah.
Here's your child. Go and
Mm-hmm.
be a mother. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to kind of like learn everything, and as you
Yeah.
go, because we weren't born, to be perfect parents. We
Correct.
have to learn,
Yeah.
as you kind of go. So that's an adjustment in
Mm-hmm.
itself. And then, when after you've already learned how to adjust being a mother to a baby, then you get into that toddler stage.
Oh, I'm here now.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting.
Yes, you get into that
Yeah.
toddler stage, and
Mm-hmm.
and then so just like kind of like learning as you go,
Mm-hmm.
learning when you get married, learning your husband in a different way. When you get pregnant, learning your body in a different way. And, when
Mm-hmm.
you have your child, just learning each of these phases, and then
Yeah.
still at the same time trying to not lose yourself, and then balance
Agreed.
also, being a wife, being a mother, and then, also not losing your self and your goals and your
Mm-hmm.
aspirations in the
Yeah.
process. So it's a lot that we have to juggle.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's amazing though that you were able to pursue your master's and complete it. And that, because that in itself, you're juggling school and
Mm-hmm.
exams and
Mm-hmm.
papers
Yes.
and, okay, babe, I need you to hold on to Jayla for a couple hours because I need to write this dissertation.
Mhm, mhm,
Those things are, and I feel like I always encourage women, like, as much of a village, even if that's two people or three
mhm,
people, try
mhm.
to create a village
Yes.
so that, you have some form of relief,
Mhm,
even if you need to go shower. Like,
mhm, mhm. Yes,
you
yes,
know, you know.
yeah.
For women that are trying to pursue this, whether they're single or married,
Mhm,
can you give some do's and don'ts
mhm.
when getting into business, or once you've decided that you want to start it? Maybe
Yes.
some, like, maybe three do's or don'ts.
Okay. So, as a married woman, I would say, do keep your family first,
Mm-hmm.
you know, um, because it's hard juggling so many different aspects, and
Yeah,
you don't want them to feel neglected.
yeah,
And, as women, it's important to have that one on one time and give our children that undivided attention. And then
yeah.
separately, also to, give our spouse that, one on one attention. So I would say, do try to find time, for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um, do keep God first. Um,
absolutely.
God has been like my ride or die for real.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I just remember just always praying to Him and writing down my goals and
Yeah,
always telling Him my heart's desires.
yeah.
And, what my mom used to say, I just run out. So
Right?
when I
Because
talk to
you going
Him,
to the top. You said, look,
yeah,
I'm gonna
I
need
don't,
a storefront
yeah,
in the one of the best or two of the best communities in the New York State area.
yes.
And yeah, I'm just gonna need all of this, okay?
Thank you. So my mommy say I just run out. And you know what? Looking back, she ain't lie. I do run out because when I go with something, I go all the way. Like I
Oh
go
yeah.
high.
Yeah.
So imagine me just telling God, like, listen, I need I was saying big numbers when I talked to him.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
ain't Lord, I
Yeah.
want to make $1,000. No, God, I need Lord,
I mean a
work up
slow
some
10.
millions for my business.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, you know what? Now, God, I coming back to you again. I want a
It's me.
storefront now, but it's me. But I need it. I don't need any storefront. I need
I
it to
need
be, you know. And then here
payoff.
we go, throw it down here, and one of our storefronts across the street from the Barclays Center, and the other one
Okay.
in the richest town in the U.S. So he couldn't have outdone himself any
I mean,
any further. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
so when I go, I do go big or go home.
Yeah. I always say he has a great sense of humor
He does.
because it's either you ask for it and it's like, no, I don't think you need that. Here's what I
Mhm.
think you need.
Yes.
Or it's you ask for it and he's like, why you ask for so little?
Yes.
Didn't I tell you I clothe the birds of the field?
Thank you.
And like
Mm-hmm.
I do everything. That's
Yes.
all you want?
Yep.
Come,
Yep.
child, let me show you how this to be done.
Thank you. You
Yeah.
understand? So
Hmm.
I be like, Lord, it's me. And when I
Yeah.
say Lord, it's me, I come in, but
Yeah.
I like he just really for every time. And
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
every time
Blows your mind.
it blows my mind. And
Yeah.
not in the small, like he goes like in the biggest ways.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
praise and praise every day. And some people I know they be tired of me. Like, Jesus, girl, so religious. But
Yeah.
I'm just so grateful because
Yeah.
he doesn't have to do it, but he does.
Yeah.
But he's
Yeah.
just been so good to get us to this point. So he
Yeah.
has been like the CEO driving this company. I just say
Mm-hmm.
it. I dream it. I work
Yeah.
for it. I write it down.
Mm-hmm.
He said to write down the vision.
Yeah. Make it
I write it
plain.
down. Thank you. I pray over
Mm-hmm.
that. And God has said that's straight.
That done. It
Okay,
is done.
that's finished. You understand?
Wow.
So
And
mhm.
go ahead. Go
But I
ahead.
always tell people like that's the first, like keep God first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Keep your family first.
Yes.
Keep God first and
Yes.
make time for your family.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. And three don'ts.
Three don'ts. I would say, some people, back to faith, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people think that, they could just say, God, I need XYZ, make it happen.
Yeah.
But faith without works is dead. So don't, ask for something
Yeah.
and not want to work for it.
Yeah.
You
You
understand
have to
what I'm
do the
saying?
work.
You have to do the work. So don't
Mm-hmm.
assume that, something is easy or it's easily attainable. Like,
Yeah.
don't assume that because, you have to, everything it works as a chain. It's connected.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
interlocked. So you
Yeah.
have to, take A, B, and C. You
Yeah.
can't leave any of it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say definitely that. I would say also don't just do something because someone else did it and they're successful doing it.
And
Because
social media, I feel like, I mean, that's it. I
yes,
feel like it's not a bad thing. It's a
mhm,
bad thing if that's how you see it.
yes,
But I feel like a lot of people, we're like my husband says it's a sheepish culture, right? We
mhm,
see somebody do it,
mhm.
we have
We
a
gotta do
copycat
it. Yeah.
mentality.
Mhm,
She
mhm.
can't. Oh, I could do that too. But you don't know what you don't
You
know the
don't know
work
what
she
she
put
did
in to
or
do
what
that.
her sacrifice is or what her gifts are. And I
Yeah.
feel like we all have unique gifts. So
Mm-hmm.
don't just and you could make a lot of money doing basically almost anything. Okay.
Anything. Mm-hmm.
Anything. You hear me?
Yeah.
Like even like to come off topic a little bit, like my mom,
Mm-hmm.
she to cut a tree out of the back of her yard. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The guy came and told her it was $5,000 to cut down the tree. And he was too busy. He don't have any more availability for another 2 months.
Okay.
So that goes to show you that you don't have to do what someone else is doing because they're
Yeah.
making money. Do something that you enjoy doing. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Do something that you
Yeah.
actually have an interest in, because the things that you think may not make money, they make
Can.
money.
Yeah. Because there's a demand for it.
Exactly. So you just have to
And
do the
then,
research and to be willing to do
yeah.
the work, but not just
Mm-hmm.
do something because someone else is doing it, but do something that you actually enjoy.
Yeah. And then if there's not a demand for it, you create it, right?
Exactly. Hmm.
Because I'm sure there were a ton of clothing stores before
Oh
Cute
yes.
Recover came around. A ton.
Hmm. A
But
ton.
what I feel like what you've successfully done is created an experience.
Yes.
So you've tied different things to it.
Hmm.
When you created your business plan, etc., you said, you know what? I like fashion. I
Hmm.
like shopping.
Hmm.
I want to fuse those two and I want to create the same experience that I like or the same
Hmm.
experiences that I like. And I want to package it and just, and put it out there for people to come and patronize,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So did we say two don'ts? We
Yes.
said,
Hmm.
one is to don't do it because someone else is doing it.
Yes. Hmm.
And then the other one we said was, oh, faith without works is dead. So you have to do the work.
Yes.
And then one more.
And then one more, I would say, don't like stay humble, like don't in your process, like
Don't
don't
get haughty.
don't get
I
yeah,
think that's
like
what the Bible calls it.
yes, like don't
Mm-hmm.
prematurely, be like do your work and then just
Mm-hmm.
let your success do the talking
Speak.
for you, speak for
Mm-hmm.
you. Because I
Mm-hmm.
think that a lot of times, like people prematurely announce stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't know who's out there watching you or who's hating on you, and
Yeah.
believe it or not, like when you some people are just there watching you to try to put a spoke in your wheel. You understand what I'm saying? So
Wow.
do your work, um,
Mm-hmm.
and don't announce anything prematurely. Like
Yeah.
I am the queen
Queen.
of not saying nothing
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
like everything has come into fruition. Even my stores, like I've had my
Mm-hmm.
stores, and I just um like kind of announced it yesterday, you know,
Yeah.
and my stores have already been open like for a month.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't announce anything prematurely. I like to make sure
Yeah.
like my I's are dotted and my T's are
Yeah.
crossed
Your ducks are
and
in a
my ducks are
row.
in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
and then I'd be like, oh, well, by the
By
way,
the way, No, but that's the best feeling. And I
Mm-hmm.
experienced that. My husband opened a studio with two partners,
Mm-hmm.
one creative and one more in the financial field, which
Mm-hmm.
is right, building a team. And so my role, obviously, besides a helpmate, was to help him, support his dreams. We looked at like he said, well, what do you think about this furniture? And what do you think about this thing? At the end of the day, he'd be working in there every day, and so he would
Mm-hmm.
be in the space. But I took my role really seriously,
Yeah.
and without even we were already on the same page, and in terms of sharing, right? Because we walked that space for about 5 months before the opening, and so now when we had the soft opening,
Mm-hmm.
people are seeing it for the first time,
Yes.
and like in a little bit of a like weird way, we were like, oh yeah, this is a space with furniture and you know photos on the wall and the TVs on the wall and the
Mm-hmm.
and all the tables and chairs in place and all the decor done, and you
Mm-hmm.
know but
Mm-hmm.
had we announced that prematurely, had we decided to post, oh, the furniture is here, oh, the paint went on the wall, oh, the slats are on the wall, had we done that, it would have been like, okay, somebody could just come
See,
and say to
yeah.
maybe the, I don't know, the air conditioning people, oh, don't go and don't do that, they don't know how to do X, Y, and Z, and it would have been like,
Mhm.
oh wow, they threw a spoke in our
Yes.
wheel.
Yes. Yes. I've
So
learned.
you just,
Mm-hmm.
right, like,
Yes.
work in silence and let
Yes.
success make the noise.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that you said to me in talking earlier was that for you, you always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and that your end goal was always to build something for yourself.
Yes.
And so I feel like you've successfully done that, even if on the inside, because you're in it and you're living it every day, even though you may not feel that way,
Mm-hmm.
or don't feel like you've achieved like as much as you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is a perfect example of doing just that.
Mm-hmm.
um, and I know that you also said that when in having a storefront, like another thing that you wanted to do was create that experience, because we have so much fun together, especially Black women, right? We have so
Yeah.
much fun together, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
shopping or trying something on, even if I'm going to come back and
Yes.
purchase, even if I don't
Mm-hmm.
purchase today, like,
Exactly. Mhm.
and you wanted to be involved in that process.
Yes. Yes. Definitely. I feel like, even before we had the storefronts, just having our online store,
Mm-hmm.
we took the customer experience serious. And so while other online stores weren't doing it,
Mm-hmm.
we provide a customer service phone number, a line
Yeah.
that you can
Awesome.
call in to us
Mm-hmm.
if you have
Mm-hmm.
questions about your order status, about even
Yeah.
a lot of people call before they even order, just to ask product questions, So
Wow.
I take that customer experience very seriously.
Yeah.
I love interacting with customers because that's how you also grow. And people don't realize that, like,
Agreed.
you want to know what your customers are thinking. You want to
Mm-hmm.
know what it is that they want so that you can better
Yeah.
serve them. So
Mm-hmm.
having that interaction with your customers is especially important for
Yeah.
your growth. And
Mm-hmm.
just for customers to kind of, resonate with the brand,
Mm-hmm.
and, to know that, hey, we are here for you,
Yeah.
and we have
Yeah.
customers who call us every week. Like, even some people, they don't even buy in, at that time, but they buy from us like
Yeah.
so much times. They be calling us, girl, how y'all doing? You know, let me send you. They be sending us so much pictures, like, you
Wow,
know.
that's amazing.
Yeah, so they become like, and they be asking for you by name when they be calling,
First name.
like first name,
Mm-hmm.
so, and we love that. We love that interaction because we feel like, we've grown to be like, more than just a customer and a business
Yeah.
relationship. Like,
Yeah.
we've grown into something more. And so I love that interaction that,
Yeah.
my customer service reps have with the girls. And even,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes if I'm there, and if they say something, I'd be like, what did she say? Let me see the picture. Like, it's just
Yeah.
be so,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just so. I mean, it's definitely an investment to have
Yeah,
like customer service because you have to pay, to have a customer service team that answers your
yeah.
phone, email, but I
But
just feel
it's so worth it.
it is worth it. It's
Yeah.
worth it, because you get that brand loyalty, and
Mm-hmm.
you just get a lot of good feedback that you need.
Yeah. No,
Hmm.
I totally get it.
Hmm.
Um, and this has been such a great interview. I know that because of time constraints, we both have to, get on with our days. But
Hmm.
before we go, I know that you are super excited about 2022. I feel like you've evolved to the point where you have, for 2021. I almost feel like in hearing your story and everything that's about to come forth, like you have successfully set up yourself in 2021 for a successful 2022. So I'd like you to share with our viewers, just a little bit, just a snapshot
Yeah.
of what you have planned for your first and second quarter of 2022.
Yeah. So our first and second quarter of 2022, and if 2022, and it's so funny, is because I actually, and we spoke about this, and I
Mm-hmm.
had someone who just booked this morning.
Uh-huh.
She's flying in from out of town for her one-on-one session. Yes. So I
Are
am.
you serious?
Yes. So when I come off this call with you, I
Wow.
have to go do a few things, and then I have to come back to start preparing for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in the first quarter of 2022, we are launching business mentorship. So it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be, an online program
Mm-hmm.
that I'm going to say, because a lot of women come to me,
Mm-hmm.
asking, basically for our story. They're interested in
Yeah.
our story,
Yeah.
how we got to where we are.
Mm-hmm.
And, they want to, start their own business, but they don't know, where to start, how to start.
Yeah.
So we are launching a course, a membership. Yay. And now since we have a demand for one-on-ones,
Yeah.
um, we are going to have like a separate thing for one-on-one sessions for those that are interested in building an empire.
Yeah.
So I feel
Because
like
that's what it is.
yes,
And
so
legacy.
it's definitely legacy. It's something that you can pass
Yeah.
on to your kids, something that gives you the freedom,
Mm-hmm.
that have the flexibility if you need to take a week off to travel next week.
Yeah.
You are
You can
able
do that.
can do that. So
Mm-hmm.
it's great because, when you're an entrepreneur, there's no limit on how much you can make.
Mm-hmm.
You can make anywhere from nothing to
Something. A
something,
big
something
something.
big. So it's not
Ah,
easy. It's not easy because, and let me just say this too, because a lot of people talk about the good and don't talk about the bad. But when you're
yeah.
an entrepreneur too, yes, you can make a lot of money, but you can also make negative money because you have to pay everyone else before you can pay
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So whereas it's a great thing, it's a beautiful thing, you
Mm-hmm.
want to make sure that you are doing it properly.
Yeah, yeah. And who better than you and everybody, all of the other moguls out there, who have done it? I feel like it's a form of, like we talked about, being humble, and
Mhm.
yes, you're making it, and yes, you're doing it. What better way than to give back?
Yes.
And not just to give back to anyone, but to
Mhm.
people who are serious about it,
About it.
because nothing worth having comes easy.
Of
And
course.
so if you pinpoint people, I mean, the fact that people have reached out to you, but woman reaches out to you 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10, she
Mhm.
is serious about
Yes.
doing it. And there
Mhm.
may only be one or two things that may hinder. Maybe, okay, I can't get a babysitter, so can we
Yes.
push back our session? But if
Mhm.
someone has reached out to you, trust me, they've researched and
Yes.
they've thought about it and they prayed about it before they would have come
Yes.
to, the
Mhm.
academy. I'm calling
Yes.
it that.
Yes.
Before they approach you guys about
Mhm.
mentorship, because that
Mhm.
in itself, it's a commitment and it's serious.
Yes, yes, yes. It's
Yeah,
serious.
yeah,
Like I say, like information, like I going in, I had to pay for information from multiple people and do my research as well. So I
yeah.
kind of I spent a lot of money as well, trial and
Mm-hmm.
error, so I'm trying
Right.
save people that trial and error money, because that could be some
Yeah.
serious money in trial and error.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't
Whereas
want that.
and you don't want that. So if you have,
Hmm.
it's definitely worth the investment.
I think so.
To
Absolutely.
invest in your business and your future,
Yeah. And
um,
yourself.
and to
Yeah.
save the trial and error money, because
Hmm.
serious money making stuff you're not going to find on Google.
No,
Mm-mm.
no. So the people that know, I mean, once you seek them out and once you found them and once they have the time and opportunity to teach you or just to kind of guide you in that, because at the end of the day you still make your own decisions.
Yeah.
But once you found those resources like yourself
Mhm.
and others, I think it's great. It's definitely a great thing. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Kudos to you for staying consistent, staying the course, and showing women everywhere that women can be successful in business.
Yes, we've got this.
Yes, we got this, especially going forward in 2022.
Of course.
I totally believe that we can do anything. We just have to do the work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fact.
Thank
Mhm.
you so much, Shanice. This
Thank
has been amazing.
you.
Please tell all of our viewers, those live and watching the replay, where we can find Cutely Covered, and just what we have to look forward to in 2022.
Of course. So you can find us at cutelycovered.com. That's CUTELYCOVERED.com. And you can find us on Instagram at Cutely Covered, Facebook as well, Cutely Covered, and our two storefronts in New York. One is across the street from the Barclays Center, on Flatbush Avenue, and our next one is in Scarsdale, New York. So it's on the store locator on our website. So thank you guys. I appreciate everyone. Thank you so much, Tonya, for having me. And
Absolutely.
guys, so much for everything.
This has been amazing. Thank you so much, Shanice, for your time. And now Jayla can have you back.
Yes.
We're now done. You're free to enjoy your
Yeah.
weekend. Super happy that you decided to join us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Take care.
Bye.